Welcome back, folks, to Luigi's Mansion. We just took out the fortune teller. And in this part, yeah, we know Luigi's a murderer, cold-blooded murderer. Actually, that was the mirror
Madame
that...
Clairvoyant was nice.
She was.
You had to go and ghost murder her.
Yeah, she went willingly. It's cool. It's good.
That was not willing.
It was willing. She said it was. She said it was cool.
That was not willingly.
Yeah. That mirror that I tried to activate just now or scan does not work because that was the mirror that if you scan when that room is locked in area 1, you won't be able to get back into if you somehow escape. So, fun fact, don't lock your game that way. In this part, we're gonna be clearing area 3. So, and then we're halfway through this Let's Play. The second half of the episodes are all area 4.
Oh,
which is the final area.
So does that mean that we're not gonna get to area 51?
No, that's gonna be in Luigi's Mansion 3, I hope. Changed it up a bit, you know? Hunt aliens. Oh, okay, these new ghost mooks are, I think this is like one of the only hallways you encounter them in, but they explode on impact, and that's no good. So don't suck them up.
I think it's funny that this game has like Resident Evil style door opening animations to hide load times. I guess you cut most of those out, right, Will?
No, actually, those are
no?
yeah, no editing of load times here.
Oh, what was that? What was that door thing that just happened?
Oh, that's just whenever Luigi opens a new door.
But it doesn't show him opening it. He just like it just shows the door for a second.
Yeah, it just shows the door and then like he opens it. I don't remember because like usually I just press A to pass it.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's why.
Yeah, so you don't have to see it all the time.
I see. So it is not a Resident Evil style like hiding the loading screen sort of thing.
No, like it might have to load the room, but like if that's what it's doing, it takes an extremely short amount of time because you just have to watch that animation for like a second or two.
Right.
You know what we need? We need some crossovers between Luigi's Mansion and a whole bunch of other things. Like, let's do a crossover between Luigi's Mansion and Resident Evil. Because why not?
I mean, with where Resident Evil is these days, sure.
Or you know what? Since it's also a Nintendo franchise, technically, let's do a crossover between like Luigi's Mansion and Yokai Watch.
Oh, you know what? I can unfortunately see that happening because Nintendo's really pushing that property.
I am really surprised, actually, that that in like the 3DS games they don't throw in Luigi as like an unlockable character as like a joke. Because I remember, like Shin Megami Tensei did that in the PS2 area. Yeah, I don't remember which game it was, but there's a game on PS2 where you can actually get Dante from Devil May Cry.
That's I think Nocturne.
Yeah, that's the one. Which thematically makes sense because that series is all about demons, and Dante's a demon hunter, right? So,
Yeah.
Mario and Luigi were in NBA Street 2 on the GameCube. So,
Come on and slam.
thematically, I don't understand why they would shy away from that. Actually, it seems like an obvious thing to do. Just put Luigi in there. Go for it.
Yeah, but it's like, can you imagine how traumatic? Like, I know next to nothing about Yokai Watch.
I know nothing about it.
Can you just imagine, like, 'cause apparently that game's about, like, you know, it's like Pokemon with, like, Japanese folklore ghosts. So it's just like, oh, it's this kid who's, like, playing with his ghost, and just Luigi just, like, comes by and just, like, sucks them all up, and then says, well, too bad, kid.
Well, nah, he'd like, spit,
Or no, he'll go, nothing personnel, kid.
Is that what he says? What is that?
It's a Sonic OC joke.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
Wait, you don't know that, Will?
no. I was gonna say,
Really?
I'm a little surprised that went over my head.
Oh, because
And it
like
did.
it's like some joke about like, you know, all like the stupid Sonic OCs, and apparently there's like some famous one where it's like stupid edgy, and the character says nothing personnel, kid.
Oh god, no, I haven't heard of that one. Wait, this isn't Edgy the Hedgy, is it? And I can't believe I just said that.
Man.
Yeah,
Sonic
can't
is
remember.
the worst. Wow.
this is not what we focus on when we discuss Sonic. This is never the focus. Original
Anyways.
characters.
Well, usually when we focus on Sonic, Dan starts talking about how bad it is.
That's right.
The natural order of things. The Safari Zone that we just passed through, that we're about to go through again. Actually,
Oh, I thought you were talking about Sonic again.
Not always about Sonic, Dan. Only like 98% of the time. Anyway, the Safari room, that was supposed to have like a typical stereotypical Safari like hunter sort of ghost guy, like portrait ghost. But they cut him out. I'm not sure why. The two rumors is that one, they ran out of time to actually finish that boss, or two, they thought he was too violent because there was a line that apparently was written that had him threatening to put Luigi's head on like a shelf like he did with the rest of his game. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I don't know. I would have been interesting. I would have been interested to see that fight, but. Yeah. Anyway, they designed the room for him, but never got around to finishing the boss.
Oh, so it's okay if Luigi murders Ghost, but if the Ghost threatens to murder Luigi, that's when it goes too far.
Yeah, man. That's when this becomes like 18A. Yeah. Now we're off to fight Boolossus, which counts.
Boolossus?
Boolossus.
Is it a giant boo?
It's.
Is it a boo made of metal?
It's a giant boo.
It's
got it
Shadow
right.
of the Boolossus.
Way to spoil it.
Yeah, I'm spoiling it, sorry. I did it. It happened.
This is an interesting boss in the, I believe it's the hard mode of the European version, because Luigi actually hops on the Poltergust 3000 and rides it like a little cart. And that's how you beat the boss. And like, it's supposed to make it more difficult because it applies like these ice physics. Like you start sliding around a lot more, which makes this boss, I imagine, infinitely more difficult. But yeah, I'm always curious about how like versions of, or like other regional versions of games change things up like that. Like I want to see Luigi ride the Poltergust. That sounds badass.
Yeah, it doesn't happen as much anymore. Just because mostly just because of like globalization. Games come out in the same territory at the same date a lot of the time. The changes between countries are like, at least in terms of like their media tastes, are not that different anymore, or as much as like they used to be, I guess. Like, for example, it used to be a very common thing in like, for like rock albums, for like the Japanese version would have a couple extra tracks on there or something. I never really knew why that was the case, but it was like a pretty common thing. And you don't really see that happen anymore.
I know that there was some differences in like the versions of Metroid Prime, like the three Metroid Prime games, and I know that apparently like the trilogy uses like the EU version for all regions. So apparently there are like some small differences in like terms of certain things or certain lines that they say.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, I mean, you still get that stuff, especially you get a lot of that stuff in America from Japan, because obviously our cultural norms are different. I was talking about Tokyo Mirage Sessions on our DK playthrough, and that game has like a lot of costumes that got changed. They actually changed the age of some of the characters in that game because they were maybe a little bit too young to be like as weirdly sexualized as they are in that game for a North American audience, which I think is a choice that made a lot of sense.
Well,
It's a choice that makes a lot of sense, but people don't stop bitching about it for some odd reason.
Yeah.
This is why fandoms suck.
Yeah, fandoms sure are terrible.
Yeah. So what's the plan here? You have to like impale the boo on that magical unicorn.
This boss, I think, is the worst one in the game. You have to. There goes my gold ranking. That boo just hit me. Ooh, got 3 in a row. Not bad. So with Boolossus, you have to suck him up and use that unicorn to basically pop him.
Oh my.
Yeah, I realized what I said. Anyway, he splits up into like 40 boos or something, or like 20, and you have to freeze all of them. They're basically like Metroids at this point. You got to freeze them to suck them up. And this is one of those bosses that starts off super easy, because at first freezing them and sucking them up is no problem because there's just such a high volume. But once you get down to like the last 4, my god, like look, like there's 1 boo left. I don't understand why we just can't suck them up, but no, you gotta freeze them. And I've seen so many playthroughs of people who have like frozen the boos outside of the zone, or outside of the boundaries, and you
I wonder
can't
if part of the problem. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh no, it's cool. I was done.
I wonder if part of the problem is just like that the controls in this game are not that good. And it's like the camera is close up in a way that does not help in a situation like this. Like, it's almost like the game's control scheme is not meant to deal with situations like this, where there are small things bouncing around.
That's a good point. It's never a problem until this boss.
Right.
Like, this is, that's why I think this is the worst boss. Like, I actually got all the ghosts pretty quickly, except for this last one. And honestly, it's been a while since I've recorded this footage, but I think I just catch it by chance, which is usually how it goes down.
Well, you should just listen to like the Rainbow Unicorn Attack theme while you did this.
That's true. That always helps. That's a good song. I heard that song in a grocery store the other day. That's a good song, man. It's good. I like it.
That would have improved this boss infinitely.
When it's cold outside.
Did you ever play Robot Unicorn Attack 2?
Oh, it's great.
I mean, it's good, but it doesn't have the song in it.
Yeah,
I froze it. I froze it outside the boundaries, and it doesn't count it. Sorry, go on. I didn't mean to interrupt.
Yeah, well, yeah, like I agree with you, Dan. Like it feels like the better game, but like it loses all sort of charm and personality because it does not have that song.
Totally. That song is such a big. I mean, and even if there was like a different song, but it was still like a song, it would be fine.
You gotta.
But instead, there's still just like aesthetically somewhat similar like instrumental music. I feel like it needs to be like a real 80s song like the first one was.
Yeah, like, I don't know, that song was just so much a part of the game itself, and it was so relaxing when you're trying not to die.
Yeah. Yeah, it's too bad, because I remember starting that game and being like, hey, this game seems cool, and then realizing the music wasn't in it, and just, I bounced right off.
Hold on, didn't we blow up the moon when we got Mario Star a few parts ago?
I don't remember doing that.
I thought Piccolo did that.
Yeah, I was just gonna say.
I thought Eggman did that. How many times has the moon blown up?
A lot of times.
To be fair, though, I think Eggman only did half the moon.
Yeah, he only destroyed half the moon. Yeah. He didn't have all 7 Chaos Emeralds, so at that point.
Don't blow up the moon. That fucks some shit up on Earth if you blow up the moon.
Tell that to Piccolo.
All of our tides will get fucked. Everything gets ruined.
You know where want to know the funny thing of how I learned that?
Sure. What, that you shouldn't blow up the moon?
Well, yes.
Science.
Yeah, I was gonna say science class.
Yu-Gi-Oh!
Oh, did they do it there too?
Yeah, they have this one. It was the first episode of Yu-Gi-Oh! I ever watched as a kid. I was like watching like Saturday morning cartoons, like what the hell is this? And it was just like there was one episode where he wins by blowing up the moon because that makes all the ocean's tide recede. And the thing is, when you actually look at it, it's actually fucking ridiculous. But it's like, I was like, oh, I didn't know that.
That doesn't sound like a very Yu-Gi-Oh-esque way to solve a problem. It does
sound like a Yu-Gi-Oh-esque thing if you're familiar with the first season of that show. Because the first season of that show, like, made up its own rules, and none of the rules made any sense.
I see.
It's like, they put it in the moon, and then that suddenly makes the water monsters more powerful for no reason, and it is like, oh, I'm just going to attack the moon now, and he suddenly wins.
I see. Outside the box thinking.